I grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the Yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. On the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. On the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze. Saw the saw the yeah, grew up in a concrete jungle where dreams get lost in a haze.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering, they're cheering, and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball club, the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because 'cause the Mets are really stopping the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the Mets, Mets of New York town, of New York town.
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another Mets Roundtable podcast right here on all the channels, including on X as well. Hopefully, everybody's enjoying this football Sunday, but right now it's all about our New York Mets as the Bills, of course, with Hayden. The Giants, unfortunate for CP, and my Cowboys actually look like a football team when it's not the playoffs. So, when Hector comes, we'll pop him on. Hector bounced off. I don't know what happened. Hopefully he's doing okay, but he should be joining us shortly. But we get to talk about our New York Mets and the unfortunate loss today. Over the last 10 games, they're 9-1, 78-65. We do got the wild card standings at the current moment. I know the Arizona Diamondbacks are playing right now and winning, but as of right now, the Mets are a game back from the Arizona Diamondbacks and still 2.5 as from the San Diego Padres, who also lost today with a Braves win that makes them tied with the New York Mets. But we're going to get started saying what up to the crew and the roundtable. Hayden, how are you doing, buddy?
Yeah, hopefully everyone is doing well. Obviously, no complaints on my end. Obviously, the Mets lost today, but win streak was only going to go on so long. 9-1 in their last 10 is absolutely phenomenal. I'm pretty stoked for the Mets position right now. So definitely plenty of content to come ahead on my channel as well as, everyone else's, of course. But football, Bills eked out. Nice dub today. So happy about that. Nail biter, but win's a win. Then obviously hockey starts soon, so that'll be fun as well. But otherwise, no complaints on my end. Mets are playing well, and when Mets play good baseball, it's good to come on here. It's good to come on here and talk about how well they're playing. So LFGM.
Absolutely, as Hector just rolled in. But we're going to get to TP first because Hector decided to be late with his own G-shirt. So, Chris, how you doing, buddy?
And listen, any roundtable is a great roundtable when we hear no complaints from Hayden. So I'll take it 100%. Listen, the Mets are playing fantastic baseball. Even one loss can't deter me from that sort of mindset. I think the collective fan base, right, maybe outside of a few people, are in that mindset. They're playing inspired baseball. Obviously, a rough game today. We'll get into, obviously, the recap of the Red Series. We'll talk about the Blue Jays series coming up. But yeah, it's a great time to be a Mets fan. They're playing great baseball, and I could not be happier. And I'm gonna have to ride that wave for as long as I can until my New York Knicks come into this season because the Giants are just in complete shambles, and that's just that. So I'll pass it over to Hector. But I appreciate you all being here. Please hit that thumbs up for us. We definitely appreciate that.
So Hector got a bat, so I'm assuming he's not very happy about the loss today. Hector, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. No, I was just saying, I was picking up the bat. I'm saying this is what we were missing today: the bats.
Yeah.
No bats today, no offense. And I guess CP wants me to go on my Giants rant. Since he got to bring up the Giants right before I come up here. I tried to warn you before early this morning, brother. Don't waste your time watching these clowns. Don't waste your time watching these clowns. As long as we got Daniel Jones at quarterback, I just can't buy into the Giants. I'm sorry. But no, I feel good, man. I feel good. Like you guys said, I think most fans, well, we got Hayden coming in here speaking positivity. Things are good. There's still some people out there. I still got people hitting me up and, oh my gosh, and this and that. And it's like, come on, for real. And, people want to kill Mendoza because he banging Edwin Diaz yesterday. We have him today. And listen, I get it. I wasn't happy with bringing in Edwin Diaz yesterday, but am I gonna go nuts when pretty much everything this guy's done has been working, and we're coming off a 9-game winning streak? Did I want to make it 10? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I was in that stadium going nuts. I've been there all week. I'm tired as hell. But I feel good. I feel good. I think we done pretty done well for ourselves, boys. We done pretty done well so for ourselves. So I'm looking forward to this. Like CP said, any roundtable that we could just have, have some fun and discuss some positivity is a good one. So let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, the Edwin Diaz throwing him yesterday was no big deal. I mean, if the Mets actually would have showed a little bit of life on offense, we probably would have won the game. And if Nimmo's other foul ball home run would have been fair, who knows? We could have actually talked about a win today and have a 10-game winning streak. But listen, it is what it is. If anybody said that over the last 10 games, starting this winning streak, that the Mets would go 9-1, we all would have sided on the dotted line. So yeah, it sucks at the end of the homestand, the end of a 10-game span, we lost the last one. So it puts a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth, but they've been red hot. And yeah, we got to talk about some guys in this lineup that have been major issues because Lindor and Vientos can't do everything. And we're going to talk about this during the roundtable as well. But look, the Mets, no matter what, are going to be in a wild card spot starting tomorrow when they're in Canada facing the Blue Jays, a dangerous Blue Jays team. The record doesn't mean nothing. They are a dangerous team. Their offense is pretty good. Vlad Guerrero has been killing it basically all season, but the Mets can't take them lightly. And Hayden, I'm going to start with you when it comes to the Toronto Blue Jays. They've underperformed for a couple of years now. Once again, they underperformed up to expectations. But the Mets got to be careful here. Look, they caused some issues with the Braves, and Braves are considered a pretty good team. So the Blue Jays are dangerous. What do you want to see from the New York Mets going to Canada for 3? With after that series, it's only 16 to go. So it's coming down to the nitty gritty. What do you expect from this team going forward with the Toronto Blue Jays?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think it's imperative that, they really pick up where they left off this homestand. I mean, 9-1 on, what was it, 6-1 or 5-1 on the homestand, whatever it was. That's phenomenal. I mean, tip of the cap to them. And just one little thing I did want to mention before that is last stream, I think you asked me the question of, what's going to be, how can the Mets be successful? And, everyone was talking about the wild card and how far we were out. And exactly what I said is exactly what the Mets did. I said, I don't care about the Braves. I don't care about the Padres, Diamondbacks, Cubs, or anyone else. If the Mets go out there and win ball games, win series, it doesn't matter what the Braves do. It doesn't matter what the Padres do. That's exactly what the Mets did. They won. They got a 9-game win streak. They won series. They swept series. And essentially, they did everything that, needed to get done. And by that, they're back in the wild card. I think they're tied for 3rd in the wild card. And D-backs have not been doing too hot the last week. Padres so-so and Braves so-so. So you're right back in it. So like I said, the Mets philosophy of just winning ball games, winning series, you're back in it because of that. But to answer your question, when it comes to the Blue Jays, you need quality starts. And, the only concern, I guess, with me is Blackburn. It's his first start back. I'm curious to see how he does. I think Peterson and Manaea are in a great spot. They've been the two of them arguably have been our best pitchers all season. So I'm very confident going out there with Peterson and Manaea. I mean, they've been going to games 6-7 innings, double-digit strikeouts, only giving up a run or two. I mean, we're seeing quality performances from them and keeping their pitch count low. So, I think in the pitching aspect, you're fine. Blackburn, we'll see. He may need a little help game 1. So, it's unfortunate to have a bullpen maybe a little overtaxed game 1, but like I said, Manaea and Peterson have been great, so maybe they could really hold down the fort in games 2 and 3. But the bats have been a little quiet on some ends. Vientos has been heating up very well this September, Lindor. But, it'd be nice to see guys like Nimmo starting to wake up a little bit more. So we'll see. But right now they're hitting with 2 outs, something that they haven't done in quite some time. They picked up on that hitting philosophy with 2 outs. So kudos to them because, the pitching, does that. So maybe they decided to switch it around, which I'll gladly take that. But right now, you need some quality starts and you need a hit for power, get the job done. And the Mets are winning a lot of ball games by low scoring affairs.
Yeah.
and save situations. And if you look at 2022, the Mets won a lot of games because of that. And arguably that could have been the case in May, but obviously they blew every single game they had in May. So like I said, if the Mets are going out there, and that's a good thing, it shows that their bullpen is holding down the fort. The Mets bullpen has been phenomenal, minus today with Phil Maton. I mean, Diaz has been great. I mean, really, the whole bullpen, even Adam Ottostinko, has been shockingly good. Crazy to say, the bullpen's been holding down the fort. So, there's really not much to complain about, which is good. I mean, I have enough stuff on my plate, so I don't want to have to worry about the Mets. I mean, really, I guess the only complaint, I guess, could be the use of Diaz, how using him in a 4-run situation, which, I mean, it is what it is. You can't change it. Obviously, you don't want to use him today, because then that definitely would take him out for at least 1 or 2 games in Toronto. So, yeah, like I said, just get the job done. I mean, this team controls their own destiny at this rate. If they want to be in the playoffs, prove it. Otherwise, we'll be talking about who we're rooting for in the playoffs, but hopefully it's the Mets.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good take by Hayden there. All right, Hector, it's time for you to have your little lovely rant about this team. And listen, there's not much to complain about. A little, we can nitpick here and there, but there is some things that you could talk about. But what are your thoughts on this series, on this game, and then head into Toronto?
I mean, honestly, guys, I really don't have much to complain about, man. I had tons of fun out there this week on this homestand. I was out there every single game,
Yeah,
rooting this
SNY
team on.
famous.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens, but listen, I'm just being me, so I don't know.
Yeah,
But no, listen, this team is playing well now. Like Hayden said, you would want to see a couple other guys join Lindor and Vientos, who's pretty much been carrying this team. Nemo has shown a couple of signs, hits here and there. Has had bad luck 2 days in a row where he freaking hits a shot both times, well into the Coca-Cola corner, but both times just foul. Um, but I'm happy. I'm happy with the defense, the way he's been playing. I mean, the only drawback, I guess, is losing McNeil for me. I know a lot of people wanted to get rid of McNeil. There was a point early on when I was like, you know what? Maybe to change things up, to loosen things up, but we did that by other things, right? Um, the only thing that makes me cringe when I hear people say is the whole, oh, all we got to do is win series and the philosophy of winning series. Yes, going into a season, that is correct. And you can sit back and you can raise your hand, Rob, and Hayden can come here and say, oh, the Mets did just what they did, the one series, and look at where we are now. It's easy to say that when you've won, well, if you swept, what was it, 3 series in a row, or almost 3 series. That's easy to say. We won the series, but we still just lost a game today on Atlanta, right? So I keep saying this. Yes, you want to win series, but the most important thing we can control is we don't want to lose when these other teams win. So we've been fortunate. We were fortunate today. Almost everybody else lost. I know everyone focuses on just Atlanta, and oh my gosh, because Atlanta's the team right above us. I forget now. I think that's kind of fluctuated a little bit with Arizona, right? But listen, I'm happy. I'm content. I hear what you guys are saying about Toronto. I do look at the record. I do look at their shortcomings. Go out there, handle these guys.
yep.
We're on a run. They're not. Go out there and keep handling business. Go out there and try to sweep them. But you just never know, right? The teams that people did anybody expect us to sweep? I even forgot who the hell we just played before the Reds.
Boston.
Red Sox.
Right. When we were coming in to face Boston. You can't expect to sweep Boston, Hector. This is a good team. And you sweep them. But then everybody's like, oh, sweep the Reds. You got to sweep the Reds. The Reds are no good. And the Reds get a game on you. That's how it happens. But continue to win series, and all that good stuff. All those cliches are great. We need to get lucky too. And the only way that we can guarantee not to lose ground is to win. But Hector, you can't win every damn game. We sure as hell got to win almost all of them. But I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I can't wait till tomorrow, honestly. I can't wait till tomorrow. I could care less about football. I care less about Sunday night football. I care less about these stupid Giants. Make me sick. Just give me some more Mets baseball, baby. I feel good about this team.
Yeah, hey, listen, we're talking about Mets baseball, meaningful games in September when people would be talking about
Another
football.
cliche. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So hey, listen, you're absolutely right. Look, there's not a lot to complain about. There is a couple of things here and there, and yet, look, we would sign on the dotted line every time for sweeps. But again, we can't control other teams. We can only control ourselves, right? We we swept Boston and we didn't sweep the Reds, right? I mean, if it was vice versa, everybody would have been fine with it, right? If we would have swept the Reds and lost the game against Boston,
Right.
everybody would have been a-okay. Nobody would have complained at all. Oh, great end to our homestand, 5-1. But because you lost the last game in a homestand and didn't sweep the Reds, people will nitpick and complain about stuff like that. And look, it could be better. Obviously, everything could be better, but it is baseball. Bad teams beat good teams all the time, right? The Marlins just beat up on the Phillies the last 2 nights, right? Phillies are one of the best teams in baseball. So, you know what happens. But the one thing this team has done ever since ever since the end of May, when people start questioning them, when they come off a tough loss, they bounce back. And that's the bounce back we want to see tomorrow. Don't have 2-3 game losing streaks because you can't afford that right now. That's the most thing. We can talk about series wins and sweeps. Don't go on extended losing streaks. Don't go on 2, 3, 4 game losing streaks because it's very hard to catch up with only 19 games to go. Chris, we've talked all day today, right? That's why I'm coming to you last because a lot of people heard both of us. So I want to definitely get Hector and Hayden's opinions on what's been going on today and everything else. So, what are your thoughts? I know we talked about it a lot, but for the people who haven't heard, and if Hayden and Hector haven't heard it, what what annoyed you, or what about today's game, and what about the Blue Jays series coming up?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna save my whole spiel about the whole race, and I think the gentleman before me did a great job in terms of giving their perspectives, and I agree. I mean, whether it's a series win or a sweep, I mean, it sucks to look at a game like today, right? A winnable game behind a Luis Severino gem. I know that he kind of got unlucky there with that bloop hit to right field. Or else he would have been on. It was a lot of soft contact on Luis Severino, which was unfortunate, but he pitched a great game and he deserved better from the offense, obviously. Real quick before I get into my real big gripe that I talked about on the post game show between us in this game, the Blue Jays series is simple. I'm looking for two things. How do the Mets bats go up and stack up against decent Blue Jays pitching, right? You talk about a guy like Chris Bassett, very big familiarity with. He's got like 8 pitches that he's going to throw against the Mets. He's probably going to take the entire pitch clock. He'll shake off 20 pitches and act like he doesn't know which pitch he's throwing to get hitters out of rhythm. It's going to be an ugly and slow game. This is going to be one for the ages. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if there's some sort of record. I think the Mets actually have the longest game this season in pitch clock, the short pitch clock history, but maybe they set a new record because Chris Bassett just, but nonetheless, doesn't really matter. I've already talked about I really want to beat that clown. I'm sorry. Respect Chris Bassett, but that guy burned a bridge, in my opinion. And I know there's a lot of people who are talking about bring Chris Bassett back at the deadline. That guy can stay wherever he wants to go. That's not New York. He already said his thoughts and feelings on New York. Let's go beat him. That's what I got to say. And then they also have in the middle of game, Bowden Francis. He's coming off of the pitcher of the month for the AL. If you look at his numbers in the month of August, it was absolutely spectacular. So him and Kevin Gausman round out the series. Decent Blue Jays pitching that's going up in terms of the starting category. So I want to see who really takes this offense to the next level when Francisco Lindor is, doesn't matter if he's struggling or if he's on, who's going to be that kind of, not co-leader, but who's going to help Francisco Lindor out, right? He had a pretty down series against the Reds. It was like 1 for 10, 1 for 11, whatever it was. And Brandon Nimmo, right? There's signs of life. He's getting a little unlucky. Obviously, he had a nice hard hit ball to center field in the first pitch with one of the relievers today, but it went right into the glove. But the results do matter, right? The results do matter. I'm not seeing much from Brandon Nimmo in that category. I'm not seeing much from Pete Alonso, Francisco Alvarez. Who is going to step up and help Francisco Lindor out, especially if Francisco Lindor gets into, let's say, God forbid, a mini rut, right? I mean, he's been spectacular carrying the Mets on his back for so long. Who's going to step up and be that guy in for the offense in this Blue Jays series? That's what I'm looking out for. The thing that doesn't sit well with me is how is Phil Maton today. Like, Phil Maton has been fantastic for the Mets team statistically ever since coming on board early in July. I believe it was about 2.5 weeks before the actual trade deadline. For those of y'all who are part of the post game, you know what I'm talking about here. Obviously hitting your first batter is not ideal in any circumstance, right? Especially for a reliever. Um, an unfortunate, I guess, hit again. It was one of those well-placed balls, I believe, to put runners on first and second with nobody out in that inning. The double that was hit down the line is so infuriating to me personally because I look at a pitcher in Phil Maton that was establishing his fastball in that at-bat. He got up on the hitter. He was late on Phil Maton's fastball. For the life of me, have no idea why you abandoned the fastball in the at-bat to throw a curveball, something slow, and the guy turns around on it, piece of cake, and there goes your go-ahead 2 runs there to put the Reds up 3-1. So I just want to see, especially later in the games, like Reed Garrett threw a gem, right? He's been fantastic the last couple outings. Jose Buto recently had a really good outing in the 10th inning to set up that walk-off. Like the bullpen, like Hayden has been saying, this is no surprise to me, has been fantastic. I've been preaching to the choir about my love and infatuation for this bullpen. I'm not going to lie to you. I really have. But something like today doesn't sit right with me when you have an at bat where you can put the guy away clearly with your fastball and you choose to go the soft route and throw some measly curveball that's a hanger and then you get burned by it. But nonetheless, the other point that I wanted to make, my last point here in my rant in terms of talking about this upcoming series was Hayden said something so ironic to me because never in a million years this season we would have foresaw this happening or we would have foresaw us saying this, right? We trust David Peterson now. When have we ever said in recent years, especially, that we trust David Peterson and we are expecting him to go deep in the ball game, especially after a Paul Blackburn start? Obviously, he's getting the ball in the middle game. Very impressed with David Peterson. How can you not be? How can you not be? You can get into the advanced metrics if you want. You can talk about the whip. It's still at 1.3, whatever. That doesn't really matter to me. The guy is 9-1, 2.75 ERA, and he's putting the Mets consistently in a position to win ball games. He's been spectacular, as has Manaea, and that is the perfect storm for a series win. Now, this first game is going to get interesting, and I want to get y'all's thoughts and opinions on this on the panel because my live chat poll, as we are streaming this, is asking the question, who is going to be the Mets' first reliever out of the bullpen in game one? Presumably Blackburn's not going to go that long. He's going to maybe have an innings limit on him. I don't really know, but I would say probably about 5 innings would be a safe bet for Paul Blackburn. You got Tyler McGill now that is in the bullpen, right? I believe Mendoza said he has been moved to the bullpen, or at least he was available in the bullpen today. You got Guto that could be a long man. You got Huascar Brazaban that has been appearing very early in these games as of recent as well. So who do you all think gets the nod after Paul Blackburn exits the game, whenever that may be? I'm very curious.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw Hayden's because I think people said my during pre and post. I think it's gonna be McGill, but I want to see what Hayden and Hector got to say. But Hayden, what do you think? Who do you think is gonna? Because Blackburn's probably not gonna go deep after coming back from injury. Who do you think is gonna come in? Do you think it's gonna be the Budo, McGill, or somebody else?
Oh, I think it's really going to depend on, what I'm hoping the offense could, break out a little bit, give them some room. But, assuming that it's going to be, a close situation, it's the 5th inning, it's still early in a ball game. Plenty of stuff can, of course, still happen. I'm hoping he can give you 5. Really, that's all I would take. I wouldn't really throw him out for any more unless he's absolutely cruising. He has some, insane good pitch count. But I don't see that really happening. But I would probably say McGill or Budo, one of those two, that can go out there and probably give you. I feel like McGill could give you more. I feel like Budo's I feel like they're kind of starting to use him for a 1 inning. That's kind of been Mendoza's thing the last couple of weeks. I've noticed he's really only been used for an inning, at bare minimum, maybe an inning or a third or two. which I don't really know why that is. I don't know if that was a front office move. I don't know if that's an analytical move. I really don't know the reasoning behind that. But I would say if it's multiple innings, I would probably say that they're going to go with McGill. And I mean, he's been solid in the bullpen for the short amount of time he's been in there. So I wouldn't be against seeing a type of game one where Blackburn can go 5 at least. And, if you have the game in your favor, or at least close enough, you can go McGill for 2, 6, 7, and then, 8 and 9 could hopefully be in a good spot, with Brazerbon or whoever. And then obviously most likely Diaz to close it out, considering he wasn't used today. And I know the Mets are big on using Diaz a lot in back-to-back games. So, yeah, but obviously I would probably go with McGill.
You've been paying attention, bro? He pitched like 3 days in a row. People were losing their minds.
McGill?
Oh, I thought you were talking. No, I thought you were talking about Diaz. McGill, how you gonna use him 3 days in a row or a couple back to back if you're just gonna put him in a bullpen? That doesn't make sense. It's just like I'm listening to you right now, and people, you bring up.
Who are we talking about?
Well, who are you talking about when you're talking about using him 3 days in a row or back to back days? I thought you said Diaz. Right. He just pitched like 3 days in a row before. What are we talking about?
Yeah, and he didn't pitch today, so he can go tomorrow.
Right, but you said they don't really like using him 3 days in a row. I don't think that makes
sense.
Well,
I said I said that they don't want to use him back-to-back days. The analytics are not.
Maybe early on when he was coming back. I think we're beyond that now. I think we're way past that now. It's just like Budo. Like, do we pay attention and do we understand?
Budo's never going back-to-back days.
Say that again?
I said Budo's not going back-to-back days.
Well, of course he's not, Hayden. He's not, right? But he's also not going to go back to throwing 3 or 4 innings when he's been pitching almost every other day.
All right, and that's what I said. He's only been a 1-inning guy.
You can't switch guys back and forth between the bullpen and long man and start, and you can't do it like that, bro. These guys have to be
said they should.
So little by little, pay attention to what's going on. Little by little, they've drawn them back, right? And they've used them every other day. Maybe not back-to-back days, which I think they have. We can look it up. I think he's pitched back-to-back days. Maybe he hasn't, but he's pitched every other day.
Diaz,
when he first came up, that they were trying to keep
3 days in a row.
That they say again?
They used him 3 days in a row. They said it on the broadcast.
Who, Budo?
No, Diaz.
Are you okay? Forget. I'm gonna drop the conversation because you're not keeping up. Forget about that. Let me ask you guys something because I don't care about who the hell comes in after Blackburn because we'll see how the game plays out, right? That'll determine who will pitch after Blackburn. I don't even want to try to figure that out. But I do want to ask you guys this because somebody at the game we were going back and forth. This guy wanted to take Severino out like in the 6th inning. Right? He's like, oh, his pitch count is high. I'm like, dude, he has 80-something pitches. And this is an older gentleman too. And he's like, oh, well, they micromanage these guys nowadays. So they don't go no more than 90 pitches. I said, are you watching the game? The same thing I'm asking Hayden right now. But not only he's not Hayden not watching, he's not listening. So I'm asking the man, are you watching this game? Because there's no reason why we should take Severino out right now. And then, of course, we get into the 7th, and he gets the guy on base. And now he's really screaming about, yo, take him out the game. And I'm like, nah. And then, of course, he gives up the run. He's like, I told you so. If we taking him out of the game, we would have won anyways. What I want to ask you guys, did you feel like Severino should have been taken out that game earlier than he was?
No, I was fine with. Listen, are we ever gonna trust these guys? Like, I don't understand why people like. We see it all the time. We talk about it all the time. Obviously the guy was saying it in the moment, but too many times people are so afraid of leaving these guys in, or saying, "Oh my God," whatever the pitch count is. If they see a little bit of a, oh my God, he walks somebody. Oh my God, he gets somebody. They put somebody on base, or he gets a hit. They automatically want to take him out. And we just assume that the next person that comes in is going to do the job. I'd rather go with the guy that I've seen all year get the job done. Severino has done that as a starter. I'm sorry. Severino, Minaya, and Peterson deserve to get that extra batter or even that extra inning, regardless of the pitch count. I'm so sick and tired. Like, I don't give a shit who we use. I don't care. Because you can bring in anybody can say any bullpen arm you want to bring in. Anybody you want to trust. You want to bring in Young? You want to bring in Alex Young, Danny Young, whoever? Or you want to bring in whoever? Doesn't matter. Stanek, it doesn't matter. that guy can give up that run just like Severino could have today, like he did what happened today.
At the end of the
really
day, it's a
doesn't-
close game. You gotta
yeah,
you gotta
like
get the
go
job
with it.
done.
Like
It doesn't matter if he was taken
me-
out. I mean,
Right.
I would have liked him a little bit longer, but
yeah, like I said, like we just assumed that it was going to work out. Like, you know, or not us, but like some people do. It's like we're just at the end of the season. We're in a playoff race here to the end. Like, if you're not going to trust these guys now, when are you going to trust them? Like, I'm sorry, we're playing the Cincinnati Reds. Like, if Severino can't do it, you expect somebody else in the bullpen that's probably doesn't have a better arm than Severino? I trust
Let me
Severino.
ask you
He's
this,
got out a
Rob.
ton of jams.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if you guys remember. CP might know. CP's into this stuff. What pitch did he give up that last hit on? Which to me, look, it was like a jam shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It was a fastball,
Fastball.
96 miles per hour, and it was honestly on the outer. It wasn't even outer third. It was almost middle, but it just caught the little outer third of the plate. It was the fastball though. Yeah, that's what he threw.
Yeah, no, I asked because Jules is here saying he stayed in one batter too long. He was losing gas. So I forget what I get crazy in these
He was
games.
still 96, and that's my
That's what I'm
point
saying.
too. Is
So
like,
it's like, is that losing gas?
not really. And honestly, like as I mentioned before, it was weak contact. I mean, Severino didn't really make a good pitch there in terms of the location, but he still induced the weak contact, and they weren't hitting him hard anyways. They were getting these
I was gonna say
ridiculous.
most of his hits were weak contact.
Right, exactly. So I think I mean I'm fine with leaving him in. I can't justify taking him out before that, and that was honestly a fluke of a hit. To be honest with you, that was a joke.
That's what I thought. That's what I
Yeah.
felt.
Look, just think again. If they would, whoever they would have put in, if they would have put in, Joe Schmo, and he would have gave up the hit and gave up the runs, what would they would have said? Why didn't you leave Severino in? Right. So look, I'm sorry. I have no problem. Severino.
I think the argument with that is typically your starter should get the upper hand.
I agree with, especially when he was pitching well. It's not like he was pitching bad, and he had barely any hard contact today. So it's not like he was getting hit hard in the
You
game.
gotta
And
read the room, right?
By the way, I said this in the pregame, and CP can vouch for this. Mendoza knows Severino better than anybody on this team. Why wouldn't you trust Mendoza's thought process or gut feeling with Severino, who he knows very, very well? He trusted his guy. And you know what? That might help in Severino's next start with the confidence, or maybe in a playoff game if we get there. Like, people don't just only worry about that batter in that moment, but it also can be beneficial later on in future games. So I'm fine with it. We lost the game today. It's not like he got hit around, was getting hit hard, even in that inning. I'm sorry. It's just people just want to complain. It's just that simple. Like, everything's going well, so they have to find something to bitch and moan about. So let me argue. It's like Joe and Clark, as Hector knows. I haven't seen a tweet from Joe and Clark. Where has he been? I guarantee you he tweeted today.
I hear, yeah. No, dude, listen. Just before on X, I had a dude, and he's talking about the Diaz move yesterday, and I said, dude, I agree with you. At the moment when it happened, I wasn't happy bringing in Diaz yesterday. So I understand that you're upset that Diaz wasn't available today and all of that stuff. I give you that. What I'm not gonna do right now is sit here and complain about Carlos Mendoza and say, oh my God, I'm worried about Carlos Mendoza, and Carlos Mendoza lost this game, and Carlos Mendoza did this, and Carlos Mendoza did that. When we lost by what we scored one run. We scored one run. We just won 9 games where Carlos Mendoza made a ton of moves that did work out. And I don't hear none of these people come out and say, oh my gosh, great move by Carlos Mendoza. It's more like, oh, great pitching by this guy, great play by this guy. Well, Carlos Mendoza made those moves too.
Yeah.
Some Phil Maytown didn't have it today or whatever. He didn't get the job done. You want to tell me Severino didn't get the job done today in that moment? I give you that. Nobody wants to win every single game more than me, man. I'm the first idiot talking about, what are you talking about, Rob? Win series, win all these fucking games. I said that in the last round table, right? When we talked about this. Go out there and give me 8-2. I'm that lunatic. But as it plays out, you got to be real. You can't just complain to complain or be negative to be negative. And I get it. I don't know what the hell I am, right? But let's just say I'm creating content right now, right? As a content creator, you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys understand. Anytime, and this embarrasses me sometimes because I'm just being me. I'm just giving my blunt thought. It's not because I get high. It's because I'm blunt. Even the exchange with Hayden, I got no problems with Hayden. I love Hayden. It's just a blunt conversation, right? But you put out something negative, go look at the likes. It blows up.
I agree.
So I get why people want to do that. Even people that are not content creators. I assure you, I'm not doing it for likes. I'm just speaking what I feel. Right now, I'm just not there. And then but whatever. Like, people do what you want to do.
I think there's a clear distinction between also the type of people that will call like Mendoza like Bumdoza or something like that, and then also, go that's like one group of people, and then the other side of the coin is having conversations like today in terms of me telling you why Phil Maton made a mistake by throwing one pitch versus the other. Like, that's a clear gripe, I feel like, that we can talk about. And like Jules is saying too, like, everybody, whether you think Severino got one out, right? I guess he stayed in there for one batter too many, et cetera, whatever. Like, those are small mistakes that we can sit here and nitpick and kind of talk about in a respectful manner. But it's like going above and beyond for blaming Carlos Mendoza, right? And like not giving him credit, like Hector's saying as well, in terms of when he makes the actual right move. The manager is always going to be the scapegoat, and that goes for across all sports, to be honest with you. And I just don't like that because honestly, for me, I mean, not to take it to that level, but I really do feel like, especially if the Mets make the playoffs, Carlos Mendoza is getting manager of the year consideration. I mean, let's
As
keep
he
it a
should.
buck.
As
So,
he
and
should,
as
whether
he
they make the
should.
playoffs or not. Whether they make the playoffs or
Exactly.
not, just for this run, man. Damn
Right.
it. This team could have laid down. Look at another thing that always came up. I'm sorry to interrupt you, CP, because I was thinking about this earlier, right? And I think there's still a little bit of this syndrome, going on right now with the call up and who got called up and who didn't get called up, right? I did a video yesterday from the rotunda, on the top of the rotunda in City Field, talking about, yo, to hell with it. Bring a call Luis Angel Acuna, right? Understanding that whoever the hell comes up is probably not going to, as I get ready to say this, is probably not going to play much, right? Except in certain situations where maybe you have a pinch situation like you had today, and, DJ Stewart comes up and strikes out, makes the last out of the game. Believe me, I was in the stadium like, come on, DJ, please, not here, not you. I don't need this in my life, right? I'm not a huge fan of yours. I don't want this 10-game winning streak to end. I don't want to lose this game. I don't want you making the last out to lose this game, because no matter what's happened, you're going to be the poster boy because we don't like you as a fan base, right? But anyways, a lot of the talk with this season was, at the end of the season, we're going to bring up the young guys and we're going to evaluate the young guys and the young guys and the young guys and the young guys, the young guys, young guys. And I think some people still want to see the young guys. And what did I always kept telling you guys? I don't want to see young guys just because we're playing out the string. And I got on that to say, I am so happy and proud of the job that both David Stearns did, who I've been critical of, but I have to give him credit, in building this team that never fell apart. It struggled, especially early, but it never fell apart. And then Carlos Mendoza to hold everybody down, to hold that clubhouse down and whatever, and make these guys still believe and give them the empowerment to that Lindor calls a team meeting and whatever you want to credit it to. I'm also going to give credit to Carlos Mendoza. And here we are right now, trying to get with real possibilities of getting into a playoff. And people want to talk to me about bring up this young guy just because you want to bring him up. Where if we really want this young guy to be successful, he needs to be playing down there in AAA. Now, again, as a fan, and because of the way this magical season has gone, I understand. And I even said, you know what? Since the guy's not going to play much, bring up Acuna and maybe you could pinch run him. Maybe that youthful exuberance could be a spark. And in this magical season, maybe he helps you win a couple of games. But realistically, baseball-wise, whether we like it or not, DJ Stewart is the freaking move. He just needs to give his results. He'll give you a good at bat. He knows the damn strike zone, which I'm not sure Pete Alonso does. He just can't
That's
get the
for sure.
results.
Well,
To play, Rob, real quick, can I
Yeah.
can I just play devil's advocate in terms of that conversation as well? Because I do agree with that 100%. But my question to Hector is when you take a look at the playing time. First of all, I'm going to just say one statement that a lot of people have told me about why DJ Stewart was the move over Luis Angel Acuna, which I disagree with, but I'm not going to sit here. We're not going to make a whole conversation. I'm going to say, to hell with David Stearns, et cetera, et cetera. Like, just because he brought up DJ Stewart and I wanted Luis Angel Acuna is not going to make me not believe in him, right? So what my point is that, first of all, people always tell me, right, well, Luis Angel Acuna is not going to start for this team, so why are we bringing him up? Listen, Luis Angel Acuna, I don't buy into that because Luis Angel Acuna might not even start for this team next year. He might not even start for this team next year, depending on what happens with Pete. You still got Vientos, and a lot of people forget about Mr. Ronnie Mauricio coming back. So where are you going to stick Ronnie Mauricio? So that's the point too. Now he's going to play a lot more in terms of maybe it's a platoon, right? But on the other hand, I really do think that, as Emmy's saying in the chat, like, at this point, obviously, Luis Angel Acuna is not going to be an everyday starter. He's not even going to be a platoon player. But he has the opportunity to take spot starts from Jose Iglesias. Let's not forget, Jose Iglesias is not 25, 26 years old. He's not. He's going to need days off, Hector, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. And it's going to suck. But to keep him healthy, at least for the playoffs, he's going to have to take a couple days off. And that's where I saw Luis Angel Acuna being brought up and making his impact. You can't do that with DJ Stewart. He doesn't play anywhere in the infield. And you got 6 outfielders on the roster right now, too. So I don't know how that works out. That's just me thinking from the other side of perspective of like why I think Luis Angel Acuna would have made logical and logistic sense to me over DJ Stewart. But that's neither here nor there.
No, and that's fair. Even when I said DJ Stewart is the move, I'm thinking in my head, we have so many damn outfielders. I hear you on that. I hear you on Iglesias, even though everybody hated McNeil. Play Iglesias, play Iglesias, play Iglesias, play Iglesias, play Iglesias, play Iglesias. Now we're worried about Iglesias burning out.
It's
There's 20 games left. Burn the hell out. Get me where I need to go.
Yeah, well,
so
you know,
I hear you on that. I just listen, and I had not heard this. I heard the last couple of days. Oh, the Mets did not start the year or even bring up Iglesias early on because they didn't feel like he was ready defensively. Now, the Mets always look stupid with this stuff, right? You look at the play that he made yesterday and all stuff like that. So, oh my gosh, how can the Mets have thought that he wasn't ready defensively? Well, maybe because they gave him a little bit extra time. He is not ready to make those plays. Who the hell knows? So maybe there's something with Acuna's game that they just don't feel like now is the right time to bring him up. You know what I'm saying? And thinking long term, and as well as, yeah, we want to bring him up here, and we think, we want to think positive, and then how he can help us win a ball game. The last thing you want to do is bring this kid up here, and he helps you lose a ball game because he's unprepared. So I'm sure they think about that too. The sad part is, guys, because like I said, it's a valid argument as far as how many outfielders we have. And then when you look at DJ Stewart and the production hasn't been there, shit, give somebody else a try. But we don't seem to have anyone else worthy enough.
We do. It's not even just about Acuna though. You know, it's the fact that DJ Stewart, like this is going on what, the third time he's been brought up this year, back and forth. Like it's been there, done that already, right? It's old news. It's you're just doing like you like it's something that you do in life that you continue to do, even though you know it's not going to be on the positive end. DJ Stewart is worthless on this team. Listen, this is an opportunity here to have a player that can be impactful in any circumstance you want. If it's pinch running, if it's defense, whatever it is, whatever it might be, you had an opportunity, right? Me and Chris brought up, obviously we know about Acuna, but also Ritter as well, who has been having a tremendous season, who plays everywhere in the infield. He played almost every position except for catcher this season at Syracuse. 26 home runs, 80-something RBIs, right? I don't care, right? I don't care about the numbers in AAA, right? That might not equate into Major League Baseball, but you cannot tell me that guy can't possibly have more of an impact, or he can't be worse than DJ Stewart. So if it's only the lefty bat situation, then that's a bad job by David Stearns. Like I don't want to kill David Stearns. I trust him with almost everything, but it's a bad job. It's a lazy move because you've seen it today. DJ Stewart came up for what reason? Right? Why? He pinched it for Terrence. All right. I'm not saying Terrence deserved an at bat, but there's other guys that could have been on the bench that could at least had an opportunity to get on base. Did anybody have any confidence that DJ Stewart was going to get on for JD Martinez, who was going to pinch hit, who was on deck for Harrison Bader? Absolutely not. I think we moved away.
But you know what really sucks though, Rob? You know what really sucks though? Who did
What?
DJ Stewart pitch it for?
For Terrence.
For Terrence, right? So who was on the bench? Who should have been pinch hitting if he was having a freaking year?
Alvarez.
Or
I
even
agree.
competent year. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree, but I don't think Alvarez would have batted anyway because it was a tough right-hander on the mound, and Alvarez
if Alvarez was being the guy that we thought he was gonna be, it doesn't matter who the hell is on the mound.
I don't think so
Honestly.
because we needed a base runner, and I don't think Alvarez is more. I don't think Let me ask you though.
Listen to what I'm saying though. If
Alvarez is not a smart hitter, even when he's going well.
I understand that, Rob. What did I
first
say? Don't get worked up. What did I first say? It's unfortunate.
If he was having a year.
If he was having the year that we expected him to have.
If it was a one-run ball game, I agree with you, but it wasn't. We needed a base runner. We need somebody that can work the count. And even Alvarez, even when he's going well, he swings the bat a lot and he's a high strikeout guy. That's a huge problem in his game since he's come up. So that's not a good argument.
DJ Stewart is the guy because DJ Stewart could work you a walk. You want a good at bat. You want somebody that knows the strike zone. You want somebody that's not going to come on.
Because I understand that. But the whole point with the Mendoza's using DJ Stewart in that point, I know why he did it because DJ Stewart can actually take a walk. That's the only thing he's actually good at. That made sense. What I'm saying,
he doesn't swing the bat. But
what I'm saying is, but he also swung with a back foot slider to end the ball game. So we did swing the bat. But the problem is, the issue is that the lazy move by David Stearns allowed Mendoza to make that call because it was the obvious choice at that moment with a 2-run deficit. You needed a base runner, right? You see how it trickles down? That's why I'm upset about that move, right? Because I was talking about it yesterday on the post game. I was talking about it today on the pregame and on the post game. The issue is that DJ Stewart does not deserve to be here anymore. He's had ample opportunities where at the moment it was 20 games still to go when DJ Stewart was called up as of today's game. The fact of the matter is there's more people that can be impactful at any moment. I don't care if it's pinch runner, pinch hitter, defense. It doesn't matter. There's somebody better than DJ Stewart, regardless of if he's lefty or righty. You're telling me you couldn't look Pablo Reyes. I know he's on the roster right now, but a guy like that, I understand why he's on the roster because he can be impactful.
Second baseman.
Yeah,
that's your backup second baseman.
Okay, that's fine. But again, there's other people that probably deserve it more than DJ Stewart. And the lazy move by Stearns caused Mendoza to say, oh, wow, we got a guy that's a good on-base guy. He can't hit to save his life. He can't do anything good except try to take a walk, right? That was just a lazy move by Stearns to allow Mendoza, and you put your manager in that position that you know what he was going to do. Nobody thought that anybody else was coming up in that spot except for DJ Stewart. And Mendoza made the right call. I'm not going to say he made the wrong call, right? Regardless if it worked or not, it wasn't the wrong call. It's just that move led to Mendoza, and it was the perfect scenario where he used DJ Stewart, right? It's nobody to blame except for DJ Stewart not getting on base. But if it was, I'm not saying Ritter or Acuna or anybody else they would have brought up besides DJ Stewart would have got the job done in that spot. But what if Terrence was supposed to be a hitter? What if he would have decided if DJ Stewart wasn't around that Terrence would have got the at-bat? Or he might have used Alvarez anyway at that point if DJ Stewart wasn't on the roster. So it goes back to a lot of different scenarios, but that decision trickled down to today's game.
Okay, hold on. So what you're trying to tell me? You don't want to bring DJ Stewart up just because you don't want him to be an option, and you rather just have someone else there
Because he's not good, Hector. That's the problem.
I understand. I'm not arguing that, bro. I know DJ Stewart sucks. But give me a legit better option. Don't tell me Luis Angel Acuna because his fucking last name is Acuna.
No, it has nothing to do with that. You know we know what DJ.
Don't give me these names. Like I understand Luke Ritter, he was killing in the minors, and I don't pay attention as much as you guys, right? But you don't just bring anybody up here just to bring him up here.
It's not just DJ that. The fact is, Mendoza made that decision. You just made your own argument to go against yourself. DJ Stewart's decision decided Mendoza's decision. That's the problem. It's the right
gave him a different option that he chose to use. He could have stuck with Terens. And then you would have said, "Oh my God, no! You don't want to leave Terens in there. This is a tough righty." I gave you the option of Alvarez, and you didn't want him because he's a tough righty. So he gave you the lefty. Take the lefty and eat him. You wanted the lefty.
No, you want him. You just said you just made your own argument.
I don't want him.
No. Here's the issue. This is where you're not understanding. The fact of the matter is
Rob, I'm just
listen. No. Quiet for a second. You're not listening right now. You're not listening right now.
I just listened for 15 minutes.
Here's the point. Good. My channel, my rules, right? This is how it goes, buddy. Listen, the fact of the matter is, Terens or Alvarez would have been the guy if DJ Stewart wasn't on this roster. Not saying that it was a bad move, regardless of the situation.
Who do you want to replace DJ Stewart? Who?
Regardless of that.
No. You gotta somebody had to come up.
Okay.
Somebody had to come up.
Let's say Ritter.
Give me somebody.
Let's say Ritter. Fuck Acuna.
Wait. Before we say Ritter, I have to interject here because this is awesome watching you and hearing you guys do this. He's not in the 40 man, so that's a problem. I just realized that as well. So it would have to be probably Acuna or even Azócar as well. That he's on the 40 man too.
Who the hell is that? Azócar? Who the
hell? Well, exactly. But anyways, it's Acuna. You got to say Acuna.
Like, the problem is that we really don't have much of options. We really don't have good options. Alvarez having a bad year killed us. You know what I'm saying? I would have been good with Terens there, but everybody would have screamed like, "How you gonna leave Luis Terens there? You should have used Alvarez." But Alvarez, you like,
I'm not defending DJ Stewart. Hector, we wouldn't have complained if Terens would have batted. 100%.
I wouldn't have.
No, I agree.
But the whole entire fan base would have. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Terens gives good at bats.
I agree.
And I agree. I don't know who said it here earlier. I don't know how you guys feel. Terens should probably be the starter.
All right,
Terens should probably be the everyday starter.
Before we talk about that, this is the difference between what I'm hearing with you all and what you're talking about. Is this is the exact problem with why I kind of am siding with Rob here in terms of why I didn't agree that DJ Stewart was the move, because I'm taking a look at. I don't need DJ Stewart in this at bat. You can give that player, in my mind, whoever's Alvarez or Terens, that at bat over DJ Stewart. If DJ Stewart is getting brought up here to be a late game, one at bat type of player, I don't need to see that. But what I will say is that what my point originally was is that this impact that I had foreshadowed or foresaw from Luis Angel Acuna in terms of him actually playing on Jose Iglesias off days, him playing 7, 8, 9 innings until someone pinch hits for him later in the game, like on a once or twice weekly basis when Jose Iglesias gets an off day, whatever that may be. I'm not exactly sure they have scheduled off day for a 34-year-old, but I would assume maybe they do. Anyways, that's more impact to a team than a guy that's going to make and take 5, 6 at bats from now until the end of the season as a late game substitution. That's kind of how I'm assessing the situation. I prefer a guy that can spot start for you over a guy who's just going to be valuable to you for a late game at bat and will do nothing.
That's your opinion, though. You think Acuna could give you a spot
That's what I'm saying.
We want Acuna to give us a spot start as fans. We have to be realistic. Right. And I'm not saying that he's not ready, guys. I don't fucking know. I don't watch the minors. But none of you can tell me definitively that he is, because you don't watch the minors either. Right?
No, but
so I have to trust that they don't feel like now is the time to bring up Luis Angel Acuna and sit him on the bench. They feel like maybe in those 5 at-bats, DJ Scott could win us a game or two. And maybe he won't. I don't know.
No,
I'm
I
not
feel
saying
you.
he's great.
Sure.
Don't start shaking your head. I don't want to argue again. And for those that say stop arguing, what you want to sit here and say, oh, yeah, I agree. That fucking stream will end in 5 minutes. And then we're boring as hell. Okay? We don't take it personal. So don't you guys take it personal.
We never take it personal.
And plus, this is just, I just talk animated. You guys, for you guys that see me on the screen, how do you think I get on the screen? By just sitting there? No, because I get animated. This is me, man. It's not personal, man. Jesus. It's not even an argument. It's a discussion.
Look at what Jules is saying. Another name that we haven't even mentioned that we haven't seen in so long is Brett Beatty. I mean, hold on, Rob. Than DJ Stewart.
Hold on, Rob, because I'm struggling, right? And I want you guys to see this. Some of you guys might have seen it already. I fell asleep with my glasses the other day, right? Like 2 days ago, because I've been fucking tired going to these games. So I'm missing the leg. So if you see me put on my glasses and they look like this, or you notice that I don't have a leg on this side, shut the fuck up. I need to see. Anyway.
Well, it's like the Mets season.
Brett Beatty or DJ Stewart? Off the top of your head, Hector and Rob, Brett Beatty or DJ Stewart?
Luis Angel Acuna.
Wait, what's that again? What did you know? What was the question? Yo, hang on, get in here, man.
I mean, I would probably go with Beatty.
Bigger impact that could be on this team right now.
Is DJ Stewart?
I would go with Beatty. At least he can play a position.
Beatty's hurt, right?
Yeah, he is.
I thought he was hurt. I thought he was back. Oh, is he? Okay, maybe he's still hurt. I didn't. Again, the fact all this lovely conversation is not even the fact that, look, you could have brought Hector to replace Jeff McNeil. It's not about the DJ Stewart, the pinch hitting. It's just the fact that I felt like Mendoza kind of had that itch to use DJ Stewart because he was on the roster. I truly believe this. Regardless of who it came up, if it was anybody but DJ Stewart that would have replaced the roster spot, I believe that it would have still been Terrence or Alvarez coming to the plate in that spot.
But when I asked that question too, I knew that Brett Beatty has an injured finger, right? He has a broken finger. Was it the freak accident that happened? No, that wasn't him.
Yeah, he got hit by the pitch.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if Brett Beatty was available to make that call up, who would you choose?
Been the guy?
Oh, he would have been the guy, absolutely, because he can play.
I would think, and at least he could play some infield. I don't think he could play. Well, they tried him in second base. I don't know how long that went.
He's been okay at that. I mean, besides the bat, nobody cares about the bat because we know
how much of a run. What has he been playing? Do you guys know? Has he been playing third base?
Second base.
Has he been playing second base? Yeah. Every time I see a highlight that he hits a home run, I have not seen a highlight of him making a play.
You haven't seen a highlight of him he plays at second base.
He's playing second base?
That's what I've seen, yeah. What I saw on his stats, on stat line.
Okay.
So, yeah, like they said he's been okay, but again, we haven't seen highlights of him making good plays in second base because it's not fancy. You know, everybody likes the home run ball, so that's all they show. So, yeah, you know, listen, guys, the fact of the matter is we lost the ball game today, and look, it wasn't all DJ Stewart's fault, as most of this rant was about DJ Stewart. It wasn't all his fault, right? It was the at-bats by similar guys at the top of the order that have been a real struggle. I mean, Nimmo has been a ghost for 2 months. Pete Alonso, yeah, he hit one ball up the middle. Wonderful the other day. Wonderful. Yesterday, that's great. But he's another guy, right? He's Mr. Solo home run guy. But he's not even doing that in spots where we need him to do that. And that's the other issue, right? I don't care about Pete Alonso's average anymore. I don't care about his RBIs. Right now, I just want to see more power from him. Because there was 2 spots in this game where Pete Alonso could have hit a ball over the wall during this game, and he either struck it out or grounded out. So it's frustrating because if Lindor and Vientos don't do anything, it's a lost cause for the top of the order with Nimmo and Alonso, and even if you want to throw JD Martinez in there, right? We can't rely on Bader and Marte at the bottom of the order to do the job. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, when Bader struggles, look, he was struggling for what? Almost since this win streak, he's been struggling this whole time, except for that one home run, right? Yet the Mets were still winning because Bader isn't gonna, I would say, win or lose a game in the forefront. It's the top of the order that is gonna cause, especially if Lindor cools off a tad and Vientos cools off a tad. It's when that's why when we have these guys at the top of the order, and you got two guys going, it helps the rest of the lineup, and you can survive it. So if Lindor and Vientos ain't going, you can't have one guy, even if it is Nimmo or Alonso, you can't just have one of them because it's not enough to carry the team. It needs to be two of those guys, and that's why I want to talk about Nimmo and Alonso. I don't know what the hell is wrong with Nimmo. Like, this might be the worst Nimmo offensively in a while. He must have been on like 74 RBIs for like 2 months now. It's crazy. Like we thought that he was going to be the RBI leader, right? Hector, roundtables. How many times we talked about Nimmo looking like he was going to be the 90 RBI guy? He probably not even going to get there.
Dude, he was the MVP for a while.
Yeah. Like, I don't know what happened, guys, and I don't know. Look, I don't want to bring it up, but I think we should talk about it. Is Nimmo hurt?
Is Nimmo not hurt? And if he's hurt, what's hurting him, right? Because he has so many things this year. Who the hell knows? Who the heck knows? And listen, I commend him for being able to stay in the field. I think that's something that we have to give him credit for because he's been doing that.
But if he's
past
hurting
2
the team,
years and now again, but man, maybe this time, maybe this was a time that he probably should have taken an IL stint. Who the hell knows? But
well, that's in look. I always like guys being, hard asses, tough guys. They make a ton of money, get out there. But when you're hurt, if you're hurt and you're hurting the team, nobody's benefiting. And that's the issue. It's kind of too. I mean, would you put him on the IL now? It's kind of dangerous to do that. But you do have replacements that have been playing better than him in Tyrone Taylor, who is a guy that could, or whoever you want to put in the outfield at that moment to play every day. But I don't know. I thought about it today. I'm like, I know Nimmo hit 2 long fly balls, foul balls that were close to being home runs, but I was thinking like maybe this guy is hurt and he's just, he's just a guy that wants to play and be out there, which is great and all. But if you're hurting the team overall because you're hurt, you're not helping this team at all. And guys that are healthy could be performing better in your slot right now.
But that's not honestly us to care about, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. This medical staff knows these guys and what they're dealing with. And if they deemed them right enough to play and they are playing and they made the decision to put them out there and Mendoza makes a decision to put them out there, us as fans have to operate under the assumption, in my opinion, that these guys are healthy. And if they're not producing, then they're not producing. That's just how we can speculate Alvarez injury all season long, right? We can speculate same thing for Brandon Nimmo. Probably half these guys are dealing with injuries that we have no idea about, but they're out there and we have to watch them every single day. But Jules brought up a great point. I mean, I know we've been switching lineups, but Marte batting second and swapping Marte and Nimmo, maybe. I mean, you got to think about it. Another lineup switch. I have no idea.
I saw that too, though, CP. I saw that too, CP. But is Marte doing good enough to be moved up, though?
He's putting way better
at before and all that, but is he really doing well enough to be moved up? I don't know.
He's doing. He's been putting better than though.
Better. Well, I think you and I could do better than Nimmo right now. But no, listen, man. Like, and it's fair that everybody's dealing with injuries, but Nimmo had a lot of things. But the guy fainted in his hotel room for Pete's sake. You know what I'm saying? Like he lucky he didn't hit his head in the wrong place. And I'm pretty sure the doctors looked into that real well and said, yeah, you can still play, because I'd still be worried about that. Like, how the hell did I just freaking faint and going out there to play? Damn it, I kind of lost my train of thought. But, like, even today at the game, my bad, Rob. Even today at the game, somebody was complaining because I think it was Lulu that said, Nimmo's a little reluctant now because he got aggravated his shoulder on the dive. And somebody's like, oh, Nimmo doesn't, he's scared to dive. I'm like, dude, you been paying attention? This guy dives all over the place. Yeah. He's scared now because he got hurt and doesn't want to re-injure himself. So he's picking his spots. Even a day or two after he dove, he made another diving play, which he didn't complete because he was trying to protect himself. You know what I'm saying? So
heck, so speaking of the 2-hole, Easy in the chat says, what about Iglesias, number 2?
I mean, now that he's playing every day, that's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea. I didn't even think of that. That's a good idea.
You know what? Yeah. It'll be the traditional number 2 that we kind of grew up watching, right? Probably me and you, Rob. I think you older than these guys. But the guy, the number 2 hole, that's going to move the runner over, that's going to try to go the other way, that's going to give you a good at-bat, that's going to try to look for a walk all of that good stuff. I don't have a problem with that. I
Yeah,
think
that,
Iglesias needs to cut his swing down a little bit. Sometimes
yeah.
the swing gets a little bit too big, but that's
But
another
he picks
story.
his spots when he tries to hit. He tries to swing for the fences. But again, he's the
Yeah,
perfect number.
yeah. How many
Yeah,
home runs does he have, guys? Come
I
on.
know.
You should
Yeah.
never be swinging for no damn fences, bro.
All right, so here we go, guys. We're gonna finish up on the final thoughts here. We're gonna start with Hayden with the final thoughts. Final thoughts of the Mets, and are you confident in this team that over these last 19 games that they're gonna do what they need to do to give themselves a chance to make the playoffs?
Yeah, well, one little quick thing I just wanted to add before I get into that was, I think the thing with Nimmo is he's definitely been banged up a lot this season. He's been hit by plenty of pitches. He's made a lot of diving plays. He's been pretty banged up. And for a dude who historically for 7-8 years being in the major leagues, this is his only second year playing a full season, arguably. I mean, you
Oh,
look
no, no,
from
no, 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 no.
2016 to just let me finish. If you look from 2016 to onwards, he's a dude that hasn't played a full season. So I think I don't know if he's hurt. I really don't know. I mean, physically he looks fine. I mean, he's not like he's slowing down, running to the bases. He's going 100%. He's stealing a couple bases. Arguably, we've been seeing it. So I really don't know what the concern with Nimmo is. I just think it's a really bad slump, honestly, if you ask me. I think it comes down to the complexity and issue of being in the middle of a power hitter and, trying to be I know he's not a leadoff hitter, but a leadoff hitter, I guess. So I guess that kind of comes down to the issue of it. But, he's been hitting the ball hard. I mean, today he had that one ball that was hit. Unfortunately, the foul pole is only so short. But when it comes to Nimmo, I guess we'll have to see. But still, I mean, really carried this team first half. And I mean, I'm still proud of Brandon Nimmo. I still think he's a great player. I mean, he's my center, he's my outfielder wherever he plays. So, I mean, I love Nimmo. But regardless of that, yeah, I mean, Mets have a big week coming up. An interleague series against the Blue Jays is going to be huge. Blue Jays are not a good team. I believe they may have took the series against the Braves, or maybe it was a 4. I don't know. But all I know is they lost today because that's the only game I was kind of paying attention. We'll see. Blue Jays are not that great of a team right now, struggling on both sides of the ball. So Mets got to get the job done. Keep morale high. You had a good homestand. You also had a good away trip, prior to this homestand. So keep it up. Vientos, I saw something on Twitter, and I'll say it. He's like the Eduardo Escobar of 2022 in September. I mean, really carrying this team. So Vientos keeps it up. Lindor keeps it up. But you need guys like Alonso and Nimmo to really start picking things up. But right now, I mean, there's really nothing to complain on my end. So, I mean, I'm happy. I give guys credit when it's due. And, I mean, everyone's doing the job in some way or form. So the bullpen needs to hold down the fort. They need to keep doing what they're doing, the starting pitching and the offense. So I'm happy with it. And I said it last stream, and, I'll say it, just keep winning ball games. And obviously that's going to apply big time when we face, 6 or 7 games against the Phillies and 3 against the Braves. That's going to determine that season right there. I mean, it is. I could see the Diamondbacks kind of falling a little bit. I could see them being that team that just falls out. I think, the Cubs were a little bit in it, but they've been, I think, 5-6 games out, which it's still possible. Who knows? They have plenty of games left, but point of the season where every single pitch matters. Every single at bat matters. Every single start, bullpen, hit, everything matters. So, you want everything to be perfect. It's not always going to go perfect. That's how baseball is. There's going to be certain plays that doesn't go the Mets' way, but they control their own destiny. And, honestly, I'm happy that I'm sitting here on September 8th talking about the Mets possibly playing in October. I mean, you asked any of us that in May, we'd be saying, no, we'll be following the Bills or the Chiefs or the Jets or whoever you follow, probably, whatever. So, I mean, I'm really happy with this team. They really pulled it around. Definitely a documentary needs to be made about this team, everything with Grimace to the Hokta and interesting season. So, we all had a fun time coming on here. I know the season's not over, but just to say it's definitely been fun working with the 3 of y'all. So, yeah, I mean, otherwise, get the job done. I would like to go to New York for October. That's my goal. So make it happen. Let's freaking go.
find out all of us will find our way to Hector in New York to go to a playoff game. Well,
Crashing at Hector's place.
so all
Whoa,
right,
I don't know
Hector.
about that.
Final thoughts on this homestand, and then final thoughts going into the series against the Blue Jays.
Honestly, man, I don't have much of the final thought on the homestand. Just keep winning, like Hayden said. Just keep winning. Um, I know I don't need to do this, but just in case I may have misunderstood Hayden before, so I apologize if I misunderstood you, Hayden. But I'm pretty darn sure that I heard. I'm pretty sure I thought I heard the Mets are reluctant to using Diaz 3 days in a row, and when I just watched him pitch like 7 days in a row. So that's what like kind of set me off. They're like, what are we doing here? What are we watching? And again, now I try to interject, and he said, let me finish. But it's because you say something else that to me is not factual, right? Yes, Brandon Nimmo struggled with injury and staying on the field early on in his career. Brandon Nimmo played 151 games in 2022. Brandon Nimmo played 152 games in 2022. 2023. Brandon Nimmo has not had that problem anymore, guys. Let's give the guy credit for figuring out ways to stay on the field. You know what one of those ways are? Because people want to criticize Brandon Nimmo all the time. And I think I talked about this on the last stream when Gelbs brought up the comment about, oh, Francisco Lindor takes batting practice even during a day game, while Brandon Nimmo doesn't do much before games. You jackass Gelbs. How about you talk about how Brandon Nimmo is the last one out of the fucking stadium every night because he
Yeah.
makes sure that he puts in the work to be able to go out there and play the next day. So
Yeah,
he's done things
he don't
to
hit. He don't, do extra hitting because he even said it. He wants to remain healthy, and he thinks hitting more in the cage is gonna have a better chance of getting him hurt. So yeah, exactly. You're 100% right about that. Like,
right. And even he even talked about how he does more cage hitting than hitting. What he doesn't do for sure is hit on the field. He
yeah,
even told Keith that in that I forget that show. I love that show. That they flip the script that they do on SNY social media, anyways. So I just wanted to clarify that because as listen, Brendan Nimmo, get it together, brother. I wanted to wait yesterday after the game to just talk to Nims like I usually do after games, but I just don't have it in me this year, man. And he just takes too long. He just takes too damn long. But I love Brandon Nimmo. So when I hear like stuff that I don't really feel like it really applies to him, it bothers me. It really does. And I think my guy's put in that work. Even this year, guys,
I just
I
think it's
forget a
wear
little
and
thing.
tear. I mean, he's been
He
beat up
got
a
hit
lot.
on the wrist. He got hit in the face. He fainted in the hotel room. He fouled the ball off his kneecap. He did this. He did that. He did that. He slid and almost tore his shoulder. That we were like, oh my God. Brandon Nim was out for the year. Brandon Nim was on pace if he doesn't take a day off for 52 games again. So that's my final thought. Leave my guy Brandon Nim alone, but he needs to start hitting. Nah, guys, listen, man. Keep winning games, like my guy Hayden said. Like he said, it's been a pleasure doing this. I don't know why we're talking like we're not gonna do this again. This is fun, and I hope to continue having fun doing this. And it's up to this damn team to extend this into October. But in order to do that, you gotta keep winning ball games. Yes, win series, but you gotta win them all. Damn it, almost. And I mean ball games, because the only way you can control not losing ground is by not losing the game. When you lose a game, then you leave it up to chance. And I don't like these teams that we have to root for. Anyways, good night, guys. This has been great.
all right. So let's finish it up with Chris. Final thoughts on the Blue Jay series coming up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rant too much. Listen, after losses, I usually am like it grinds my gears. But today, I was kind of calm. I'm not gonna lie. This one didn't bother me too much. I was unusually calm, right? And when Hector is unusually calm, right, you know the Mets are in good shape and they're in good position moving forward, and that's exactly what they are, right, going into Toronto. So, like I said, we just talked about it for an hour and a half, almost about what they need to do. Sound baseball for me again. Which guy in the lineup that's struggling right now is going to step up and help Francisco Lindor and Mark Vientos carry this offense? And even Jose Iglesias, because he's been brilliant as well. Which guy out of Alvarez, Nimmo, Pete, and even JD Martinez can be lumped into that category, right? Who's going to step up and help those guys at the top? Because I really think that this offense, they have another gear to get to. They have that capability of getting into that next gear. So, like I said, let's go Mets. I'm sure we'll be back with the pregame tomorrow. perhaps, probably, maybe even a post game will be going down on the channel. Keep subscribing. I appreciate all the support on the channel as well. Again, thank you all so much for 900 plus subscribers on the channel, on our way to 1,000. 100% appreciate that. Hope to get there soon. Hit that thumbs up on the screen. And thank you, gentlemen, Rob, Hayden, and Hector. Like I said, and like everyone else has always said, always a pleasure. This is always fun to do.
I say one thing, Rob.
Go ahead.
I'm the worst promoter of Hector that there is. But since everybody is plugging this stuff and promoting this stuff, guys, give me a help. I don't know. Sal had me on his WFAN daily podcast, and I don't know why them jackasses ain't promoting it. I love WFAN. I love Sal. I know it's not Sal, but they haven't promoted it. I had to put it out there myself. Go out there, give it a listen. Help me out with some listens, man, so they can see that, people want to hear what Hector has to say. And even if you don't want to hear what Hector has to say, put the shit on anyways and put it on mute and let it play. Just give it a listen.
I do listen to it,
WFAN Daily, Sal Daily, whatever the hell. It's on the Odyssey app or whatever, the WFAN Daily Podcast. It'll be on YouTube pretty soon. I'm going to share that on X and all that. They might not want to promote it, but if you're going to have me on, and I appreciate my guy Sal for doing it, then promote the hell out of the shit, man. You let people listen to it. Let them make a choice.
I actually do listen to that and the Rico Bronia podcast on to and from work. So yeah, it was actually pretty good with you and Sal. Obviously, always nice and loud, which is great. We used to. I mean, you guys kept.
I'm not everywhere I go, man.
Listen, you kept me up for years with you and Sal on the overnights when I was working. So I I loved it. So again, guys, it's always a pleasure. Another roundtable in the books. Let's hope we have a couple of more very, I would say, positive roundtables over the next 2 weeks. And hopefully we get some October roundtables, because then we're really going to be talking and having a lot more fun. So with that said, guys, everybody have a great night. Let's go Mets. Definitely a pregame, possibly a postgame tomorrow with me and Chris. With that said, Hector, Hayden, Chris, have a great rest of your Sunday night. And we'll see you next time, guys. Roundtable out. Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets, baby.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your